Stadium at Baldwin Street Middle School, where tonight we've got an OK Red border war as the Grandville Bulldogs make the short trip down Chicago Drive, hang a right, and they're taking on the Hudsonville Eagles tonight at home for the first time this season. I'm Russell Chesky along with John Van Lon, and John, we're back on the air for the first time this year from Hudsonville, and doesn't get much better than this. OK Red action, here we go.
Being back in Eagle Stadium, it finally feels like football season, Russ.
A spectacular night weather-wise. Light winds, if that. The flags are barely moving. And temperatures today were topping out around 82, 83 degrees, so a beautiful night. It's a beach out theme for the Hudsonville students. That certainly is appropriate for the beautiful weather we have tonight. Well, let's start. Oh, sorry, John, go ahead.
You mentioned the flag, Russ. It is at half-mast today for the passing of Queen Elizabeth just yesterday.
Well, let's start with the Eagles. They are 0-2 with 2 tough losses. Hudsonville, in fact, has now lost 8 consecutive regular season games by single digits. So it's one thing if they were getting blown out left and right. They are in these games. Hudsonville losing 24-15 against Saline in week 1. And then last week over in Orchard Lake, falling by 9 points as well, this time 23-14. But Hudsonville was very shorthanded in that week 2 loss.
You are what your record says you are, Russ, but you're right, not to make any excuses, but this may be the healthiest Hudsonville team that we've seen all season tonight.
Drew Bain will make his season debut at running back. He's been out with a hamstring injury. Brad Reardon, who starred in week 1 on both sides of the ball, he's back tonight after sitting with a concussion in week 2. And the Grandville Bulldogs, boy, they've been putting up points, and 2 big wins so far to start the season. 49-25 over Grand Blanc, who at the time was ranked number 8 in the state, a team that was coming off a state semifinal appearance. And so that really got things rolling for the Bulldogs. And then in week 2, they certainly doubled down and looked impressive again with a 45-27 win over Byron Center in the first ever meeting between those 2 schools.
Well, Grandville traditionally schedules tough, and they did it again this year, but they've actually won those games this year. So this could be one of the better Grandville teams that we've seen in a while.
That's a great point. Granville started 1-3 last year before they really got things rolling. And part of that was a big Week 8 win against Hudsonville, 44-36. We're going to step aside right now for the playing of our national anthem.
Let us now honor and respect our efforts and our country by gentlemen removing your caps. All active and retired military, we encourage you to render the appropriate salute. And everyone that is able, please stand as we proudly present our very own Hudsonville Marching Band under the direction of Senior Drum Major Reagan Hall in the playing of our national anthem.
Russ, you gave me an assignment just before the game, and that was to try to spot number 14 to see whether he was active tonight, and it looks like he is in street clothes. That's Gage Robertson.
And that's another key player for Hudsonville that has had injury problems, and a big reason why Hudsonville's 0-2 is the injury issues. Coach Eric Stiegel in his 9th year for the Grandville Bulldogs. What a job he has done. Grandville had 7 straight years of no playoffs prior to Stiegel's arrival. And what has Coach Stiegel done? 7 playoff appearances in his first 8 years here at Granville. Coach Brent Sandy for the Eagles. He's in his 5th season for Hudsonville, and the Eagles trying to avoid that 0-3 start, which would just be disastrous as far as the playoff race is concerned. And you know, everybody's 0-0 right now in conference play, and so that's really how you got to look at things.
This season can certainly go one of 2 directions for Hudsonville, and it can go very positive from here on out, or it can turn negative. If they go 0-3, Russ, they got Caledonia looming next week.
Coach Sandy, after last week's game, talked about what the players' goals were before the season, and nobody said let's go 9-0 or let's go 8-1. It was win an OK Red championship, make a run in the playoffs. Those are the goals that are still obtainable. And Hudsonville will kick off to start this game. And back deep for the Bulldogs is the dangerous Tyson Mann. We'll be calling Tyson Mann's name a lot tonight. Incredible speed all over this Grandville lineup.
Russ, you gave me some stats before the game. This isn't your typical 4 or 5 yards in a cloud of dust Grandville offense.
No, they have big playability. And this time Mann will take it out to the 33-yard line, and that's where they will begin under the direction of senior quarterback Carson Smith. He wears number 2. And Grandville also a team that is normally a running team, out of the wing tee, of course, but Carson Smith can throw the ball. And he had a couple of big plays in week 1 against Grand Blanc, a 59-yard touchdown pass to Braden LaCroix, a 71-yard touchdown pass to Tyson Mann. Those are numbers and statements you just don't hear very often when it comes to Granville football.
And not just Granville, but the wing tee in general is typically a 90% run, 10% pass type of offense, but not this Granville team.
And the quarterback keeps it here. And Smith will have a nice gain on first down. And that's the other dangerous thing about the wing tee is the quarterback is also a running threat.
You've got to hit that quarterback every time when you're on defense there to make him think twice before he carries out that fake. So you know when he has the ball, he's going to get hit.
7 yards on first down. Any team will take that. Jaden Terry, the left of the wing tee. Carson Kopko, Tyson Mann on the right. And this is going to be Terry, the freshman. We call his name for the first time tonight. The younger brother of Cam Terry, Jaden, 5'9", 170. That's some pretty good size weight-wise for a freshman who's only 5'9".
Yeah. You figure a year ago he was playing middle school football. And yeah, now he's playing in the big leagues at 5'9", 170.
So it'll be 3rd down and a short 2. Boy, would Hudsonville love to get a 3-and-out defensively to start this game. They might be offsides. A couple helmets look to be ahead of the football. No flag, and it'll be a 1st down for the Bulldogs out to the 46-yard line. And that was Tyson Mann.
Met up there by Hudsonville's number 44, Joshua Rosen. 1st down for the Bulldogs, 1st and 10 from their own 46-yard line.
So the Bulldogs move the chains, fans still filing in. This stadium might fill up after it's all said and done here.
Looks like they're parking way over there at Daybreak Church and walking from there. So yeah, you're right. There's a lot more people to come in here yet tonight.
Yeah, if you arrived at game time, you've still got a long wait to get in. This is going to be the first man through. That's Kopko.
Carson Smith on the
actually, well, they said it was the quarterback there.
Gain of 6 on that play. 2nd down and
so 7 yards on 1st down on the first play of the game. 6 yards on that 1st and 10 as we're just underway from Hudsonville. The Grandville Bulldogs averaging 47 points a game. And that was the quarterback, again, Carson Smith. It is so hard to see.
Yeah, that wasn't the quarterback carried out the fake, but he didn't have the ball.
So it was the first man through.
And it was Kopko again.
Carson Smith on the carry.
Yeah, he's mistaken. It is tough to see that wrinkled up number 3 on the jersey, but that's the running back,
Third down and
Kopko.
short yard for the Bulldogs.
Well, hard for the public address announcer even here, Dwight Sneeden. He got it wrong the last 2 times, and he spotted her with binoculars. we're going on raw sight here. Third and short once again. And they're going to throw, and he's got a receiver wide open. It was underthrown a bit, which will prevent a touchdown from being scored. But how about that? 3rd and 1. Everybody expecting a run, and Carson Smith to Tyson Mann out of the backfield.
Mann did a nice job that time. It's easy when you're that wide open and see nothing but the end zone in front of you to take off without the ball, but he made sure he secured the ball. Might have prevented him from scoring a touchdown, but at least he got the sure-handed catch.
A gain of 37. And that's the difficult thing about the wing tee. If you have assignments on all the backfield guys, if somebody leaks out into the flats, Tyson Mann, he's very close. This is inside the 1 yard line at about the half yard line. So Grandville looking to punch one in on a very successful opening drive.
From the Hudsonville 1 yard line.
Another one of those situations right here, Russ, where you're expecting just something hard up the middle, and we'll see if they go to the bag of tricks again.
Well, I've said it over and over again over the years that the Grandville passing game is what makes this wing tee so good. Once in a while, they're going to air it out. That's what got the Bulldogs in the red zone on their opening drive, and it will result in a touchdown. They reward Mann, who had the big reception, and the 6-foot senior, Tyson Mann, takes it in. And Grandville now leads 6-0, 4 minutes and 12 seconds into this game. Wow, was that impressive, John?
Yeah, quick scoring drive for a predominantly running team here.
Now Grandville will go for 2 pretty much religiously. They do have a kicker, though, Isaac Strock, and he has made a field goal this season. But this is the bread and butter of the wing tee. Get 3 yards and 2 more points. It will be a pass, and wide open is Terry. And so there's maybe what you were expecting at the half-yard line. They save it for the 2-point conversion. And the Bulldogs add on to their lead now, 8-0.
What you don't want to be if you're on this Grandville team is the backup long snapper. You're not going to get many touches at all. They're not going to snap the ball much from the starting snapper, and then if you're the backup, you got no shot.
So the Hudsonville defense, which has really done a solid job this year, especially in week 1, forced 4 turnovers by C.J. Carr, the Saline quarterback who's headed to Notre Dame next fall. Very impressive week 1 defensive effort, but boy, the Grandville offense there on the opening drive. Very impressive. 8 plays unofficially on the drive. That goes 67 yards.
You mentioned there that Coach Stiegel's been here now for a number of years. You got to remember, these kids didn't just pick up this offense this year. They've been working on this since the time they came up through the middle school system, the high school system, so they've got this thing pretty well down.
Well, Carson Smith, the quarterback, he was this is 4th year on varsity. He was the starting quarterback as a freshman in Grandville's first-round playoff game. It resulted in a loss, but you think about what he's learned since then. This is going to be number 12, Carson Dykstra. Sophomore, he's hit hard. And Hudsonville will start at the 27-yard line with Trey Carr leading the way for the 2nd straight year at quarterback. Carr is completing 50% of his passes, averaging about 180 yards per game through the air. 4 touchdowns this year for Carr, 3 of those on the ground, though. Carr will almost always be in the shotgun. And this is Bain, Drew Bain, carrying the ball for the first time, his first action of the season. And Hudsonville has had no success running the ball in weeks 1 and 2, with the exception of Trey Carr. So Drew Bain will be critical to getting this Hudsonville run game going.
Certainly seen a lot of Bain last year and a lot of his older brother Sam Bain a number of years ago. So with him being back, that should help the running game for Hudsonville.
And that makes things a little bit easier for the passing game. Trey Carr has his man. This will be a first down, and Hudsonville out near midfield. That's caught by Carson Dykstra.
First down there by number 4, Drew Hungerford for the Bulldogs. First down, Hudsonville. First and 10.
Pickup of 17 yards there will move the chains.
Carson Dykstra, the youngest of 3 of the Dykstra boys there. His brother Mason is also on the team, and his older brother Jaron graduated a year ago.
And Mason wears number 80. He'll be somebody that will be in at tight end tonight, another receiving threat for the Eagles. And now Carr picking up some nice yardage on first down. The forward progress will take it to the 47 of the Bulldogs for a gain of 7. Trey Carr, 114 rushing yards through 2 games. 3 touchdowns. And he has added about 10 to 15 pounds of muscle, John. That was the first thing I noticed in week 1. I asked him, how much weight have you put on? How much muscle have you put on? And he said about 10 to 12 pounds. Definitely bigger in the upper body. And he is now able to deliver some blows when he lowers the shoulder. And it will be Carr calling his own number again. He's going to be about a yard short of the first down. Main weapons for Hudsonville's receiving core, you've got Brad Reardon, number 6. Number 1 is Eli Vanderveen. Eli Vanderveen, a big play receiver, had 157 yards receiving on just 4 catches in week 1.
And nobody's happier to see Reardon back than Vanderveen. That really opens up his side of the field.
It absolutely does. And the slot receiver is Dykstra. And it's single coverage. Carr throws it up for a catch. That's Brad Reardon. That's good for 25 yards. And the Eagles moving the ball on their opening drive. Boy, was that an impressive throw. Throw to the sideline, let your guy go up and get it. Brad Reardon will star on the defensive side of the ball, but he can make plays. He can also throw the ball. Hudsonville had a little trick play in week 1 where Reardon threw a nice pass that was completed. And now Hudsonville in the red zone. First and 10 from the 19. Bain. And now Dykstra in motion in the backfield. It'll be Bain making the first man miss. Some shifty running there by Drew Bain. What looked like was going to be an immediate hit at the line of scrimmage results in 2, let's say 3 yards for Drew Bain.
Exactly right, 3 yards that they probably wouldn't have gotten. Looked like it was going to be a stop at the line of scrimmage, and picked up 3 based on some shifty moving there.
Boy, this has been an awesome start to this game. I expected there to be some offensive fireworks. Certainly on the Grandville side, averaging 47, and now Hudsonville at full strength. There's going to be some points scored. Carr on the carry. There's that shoulder lower, John, and he's still on his feet. And this will be a first down. Down to the 6-yard line.
And that's your quarterback, Russ. That's not a fullback.
First and goal for Hudsonville.
It's a gain of 10. Well, we'll call it 9. Gain of 9 for Carr, and now first and goal. Hudsonville immediately marching down the field following Grandville's score. Carr has been solid on this opening drive. They're going to go to Drew Bain. Shifting again, and he reaches out and scores. Drew Bain on his opening drive of the season.
Welcome back, Drew Bain.
And now the big question is, will Hudsonville chase the points? It's always a tough decision when you're playing against a team that goes for 2 and has a very high conversion rate on the 2-point conversion. And Hudsonville now will go for 2, and that's one thing that I like about the going for 2 for the Grandville side of the equation is you really force Hudsonville to do the same. And Hudsonville has a nice kicker in Ian Munoz, and you take him out of the game. And the odds of making an extra point are much higher than a 2-point conversion for most teams. So Hudsonville will try to tie it up here at 8. Carr throws into the flats. He has his man, and we are tied.
Carr put the ball right on the player. Player turned around, and there it was right in the breadbasket.
That was Dykstra on the reception. Good route, and that drive took 3 minutes and 25 seconds for the Eagles to answer. We might be here a while, John. There's going to be a lot of scoring tonight.
Yeah, so far the scoreboard's already checked out for the game. It's been overworked. So
how about that? The scoreboard on the south end of the stadium, the main scoreboard that says where the ball is, the down, the distance, the timeouts left, that scoreboard is down. All we have is the scoreboard, which simply lists the score and the time, but that has made things a little difficult for us. What yard line is the ball on? How many yards to go? We have to work a little extra harder tonight.
We might have to pay attention tonight, Russ.
Every time Hudsonville kicks off, there's a dangerous weapon back there for the Bulldogs, Tyson Mann. Grandville averaged 38 points a game last year, 41 in 2020, and averaging 47 through 2 games this year. Grandville, one of 4 OK Red teams that have started 2-0, all non-league games. Caledonia, Rockford, and surprising West Ottawa at 2-0 as well. It's the up man here. Man will not get a chance, but this is going to result in a beautiful return. And maybe a little bit of a late hit there. Nope. Yes, the flag does come down. I thought I saw well after the player was out of bounds. That was Avon Cott.
I think the initial hit was okay, but then when he took him and spun him down there on the track there, I think that's probably where the ref had no choice but to throw the flag.
This ball might be at the 18-yard line, John, after the penalty. Unbelievable.
One of the first things you learn in special teams practice there when you're working on the kickoff is you cannot lose containment on those ends, and that's exactly what happened. Is they got sucked in. Grandville player went around them, and there's just nobody there to force them back inside.
Well, obviously Hudsonville didn't want to kick it all the way back to man, but Cott found a lane on the left side of the field and confirmed the late hit. This will take it to the 19-yard line, it appears. So how about this, Grandville? Your offense is rolling all year long. How about you get to start a drive in the red zone? We'll see how long it takes to score, John. 4:12 on the clock, so let's keep that in mind here. We'll see how many plays and how much time it takes this offense.
And I would say they're probably in 4-down territory.
Well, they might not even need 4 downs. The way this team is moving the ball, this will be Terry, Jaden Terry. No disrespect to Jaden if we call him Cam at some point tonight. Little Freudian slip of the tongue. I'm sure it'll come out with the success that Cam Terry had for the Bulldogs.
When you get my age, Russ, you start calling some of these players by their dad's name. That's when you know that you've been around too long.
Well, that goes beyond a Freudian slip. That might be something else you might want to get addressed by a medical staff. But ball just across the 15-yard line now. Grandville taking their time. Right up the middle. And that's a 1-yard gain. That's it. Anytime they go up the middle, it's almost always Copco. You know, Grandville in this system doesn't necessarily have big running backs. Copco 5'9", 155. Tyson Mann 6', 170. That's not bad size for man.
They're workhorses, but they're not necessarily, like you said, huge.
They don't have that massive fullback. that some of these run-first teams have. And they're going to get Mitchell to the outside, or Terry rather, Terry to the outside. And a real nice job by the Eagles there. Terry gets to the 11, and like you said, John, it is 4-down territory, and the Bulldogs will have to go for it on 4th down.
Looked like Terry had the corner too, but somehow a Hudsonville guy reached out his arms and was able to hold on to him and get him out of bounds. This will be a huge stop here for Hudsonville, where they gave up the ball in field position.
I didn't think 4 downs would be necessary. But here we go, a huge play. Biggest play of the game so far. Tyson Mann.
He's got it.
Nice initial hole. Only got 4 yards, but that's enough. And Grandville will have 1st and goal now from the 6.
1st and goal.
Well, there's 4:12 on the clock, John. If they can score here, it'll be under 2 minutes for this drive. You know, it could be a long game with the scoring, but Grandville keeps that clock moving with the wing T attack. It's going to be Mann again, and that's a massive hole this time.
Touchdown.
Tyson Mann for the 2nd time tonight with 2:16 on the clock. Not even 2 minutes needed for the Bulldogs to punch another one in.
I don't think a hand was laid on to Mann until he got to the goal line that time.
I might need a 2nd page for my scoring plays tonight. And I've got the long form notebook. This isn't your 8x11 page.
You got the legal pad going, Russ.
So as always, Grandville will go 4-2. Last time they converted via the pass.
Well, the way this game is going, extra points may be what decides it.
Look at this, way over on the left hash. Up the middle. No, he is short. No, a very late signal.
2-point conversion is good for the Bulldogs.
Not sure how an official, I always get upset with the goal line call.
For the 2-point conversion.
The official comes in and says it's good well after the player was down. Well, at that point, where was the ball moved to?
Who rolled, who scooted? If it's any consolation, though, the Grandville lineman did call the touchdown long before the official did, so I can't imagine he would do anything other than tell the truth.
So it looked like Hudsonville might get a little bit of a consolation prize there, stopping the Bulldogs on the 2-point try, but
it very well could come down to that.
But yeah, you bring up a great point. There's going to be some touchdowns scored. That's a given. Who converts their extra point try, their 2-point tries rather?
Yeah, you only got 1 shot at those. You don't get the 4 downs, so that could be the decider in the game. But before we talk about that, Hudsonville has to answer here on this possession.
Grandville has 16 points on 13 plays. How about that? Out-of-town scoreboard. How about Caledonia over Jenison, 20-0? How good is Caledonia, John? Is this a team that can finally knock off Rockford?
Very well could be, and it's a team that could take this Hudsonville Eagle team to 0-4 if they don't get a win here tonight.
That's mind-boggling to think of that possibility. Caledonia was able to beat Grandville last year, but then lost a heartbreaker to Rockford. But it's OK Red play here. Week 3 of the regular season, but week 1 for OK Red action. Hudsonville will start at the 30-yard line. Let's see how long it takes them. 2:07 on the clock here in the first quarter. Nearly a full house on hand tonight as the fans continue to file in. You're not going to get much better weather than this. Carr throws it out, looking for a block, but what a great tackle there. Number 4, that's Drew Hungerford, just blows up the play. Hungerford broke through his block and then made the tackle.
Absolutely, that's the way you're supposed to do it. Took on the blocker, got off, and got the tackle.
That'll go down as a loss of 1. Second and 11 now. Hudsonville now with the 4 receivers as Mason Dykstra now in at tight end on the top of the formation with Vanderveen out there, Reardon and Dykstra on the left side of the field. And what a beautiful throw by Carr and a nice hit there That was Hungerford again. Oh, we got some good action going on here.
Hungerford watching films on Night Train Lane before he comes in here.
Oh, wow. How many current high school players will recognize that name? But I know they're YouTubing it right now. Wow. Drew Hungerford, we got to come up with a nickname for him with those kind of hits. 3rd and 5 now for the Eagles. And Carson Dykstra has been the main target of Carr early in this game, and on 3rd and 5,
it's going to be close.
They're going to run with Carr, and that's a generous spot, so definitely a first down with that spot.
Yep. I just like the balance of this team this week with the addition of Drew Bain back and Reardon.
Oh, yeah.
Both sides of the ball from the wide receiver standpoint are covered. You know, like you said, the main receiver is Carson Dykstra. That's not even one of their 2 superstar receivers. And they also got Drew Bain out of the backfield, and the quarterback's having a field day as well.
You're absolutely right. Carr had to throw 37 times last week, and that's not what Hudsonville wants to do. But they had to without a running game. Carr's going to throw, looking for his main target, Vanderveen, and that's the first time tonight Carr has been off target. He's now 4 out of 5. Vanderveen's a tall guy, but even he can't catch that one.
And he's got good jumps. I can tell you from watching him on the basketball court, he can leap.
1 second left in the first quarter. So the Eagles will get one more down here, one more play on 2nd and 10. Second straight 2nd down and long for the Eagles. They converted eventually on their last 3rd down try. Let's see if they can get a chunk of it back here. Carr to Bain, and Bain consistently spins to avoid the first man. But there is no gain on that play, and that now officially takes us to the end of the first quarter. A lot of fireworks offensively. Grandville leading Hudsonville 16-8. You're watching OK Red Football on WCET.
DJ's Pizza Plus. Located at 3471 Kelly Street, Hudsonville, DJ's is newly remodeled and ready for you to stop in. Grab a drink and watch the game, or try some delicious pie. A proud sponsor of WCET TV Sports and In the Zone, DJ's Pizza Kitchen is available for by the slice, dining in with family and friends, carry out, and delivery. DJ's Pizza Plus. Thank you for supporting WCET.
Welcome back to Eagle Stadium. We're getting ready to start the second quarter. Both teams in a huddle getting the last minute instructions. It's Grandville 16, Hudsonville 8, but Hudsonville has the ball and it's their turn to try to answer.
3rd and, what would you say, a chain link? No, I'm sorry, 3rd and 10. I was looking at the down and distance from the opposite way as we now change directions for the second quarter. My apologies there. It's not 3rd and a chain link. It's 3rd and a full 10. Running back Bain goes into the backfield. Hudsonville's trying to get some blockers downfield, but Bain's going to have to make a man miss, and he doesn't. A short pickup of 2 yards, and that's just nice open field tackling by the Bulldogs.
It was, and I believe Hudsonville will have no choice as much as this is a scoring who's got the ball game. Match for match, they've got no choice but to punt the ball.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say no choice but to go for it, but yeah, with a one-score game in the second quarter, you have to punt it away here.
Way too much field, way too much for a first down. If you were within a yard here at the 50-yard line, you may consider it, but
I mean, if you're Hudsonville, you're going to have to get a stop. You're going to have to get multiple stops to win this game. No time like the present. Vanderveen's done an excellent job for the Eagles. He kind of does everything for the Eagles. And another nice kick by Vanderveen. Fair catch made by Mann, so no return. That's an excellent kick at the 20-yard line. So this will be Grandville's worst field position of the night. For some reason, I think they'll enjoy the challenge of needing 80 yards this time.
And not only can they chew up yards and distance, but they can also chew up some clock here as well.
And if you're Hudsonville defensively right now, you're a little tired. Your offense was only out there for one first down on the last drive. Boy, pick your poison if you're Hudsonville, because there's a lot of quality options for Grandville, including the pass game, and that's where they'll go on first down. And a whole bunch of yard stripes, and a flag comes in, and this one might be a holding. Maybe that's why there were so many yard stripes.
Not a place and timing that you typically will see a flag.
Yeah, it was somebody downfield. I don't know if that would have been another receiver or tight end. And it came from an interesting spot, well past the line of scrimmage. So after the penalty, oh wow, a blindside block on Grandville. Holding's 10 yards from the spot. That will be 15 yards. The question is, was it from the spot or the original line? That might be from the original line, John. That appears to be the case. This will go back to the 5, correct?
There's 10. Yeah, but that's not.
Well, it was a spot foul because they'll put it at the 12. So the penalty occurred at the 27. Ball placed at the 12, 12 and a half. So another challenge for the Grandville offense, which I'm sure they will be happy to accept. They're going to throw again. Carson Smith, nowhere to go with it. He's going to have to lower.
I believe that was the 10-yard line that tripped him up.
Yes, yes. I mean, Grandville's so effective when the pass plays are a surprise, but that time Hudsonville appeared to be ready for pass. The formation in the backfield was not normal for Grandville there. So I think Hudsonville read something there. No gain on the play. And now Grandville maybe a little out of their comfort zone on second, and we'll call it 17.
Scoreboard is making an attempt to come back on the south end as well.
All right. First man up the middle is Kopko. He loses a yard, and I can't remember the last time I saw Grandville in 3rd and 18.
Backed up almost to their own end zone. We'll see how conservative Coach Stiegel is here.
Boy, this just might be Kopko again up the middle and then a punt. Rockford beating West Ottawa 13-0. That's late in the first quarter.
Is that on West Ottawa's brand new field there? It is.
That has probably got a massive crowd there for both sides, because as the visitor, you'd love to see that facility. $25 million. Carson Smith's going to keep it. Oh boy, Carson Smith has a first down, and I thought he might be able to break free and go all the way. Brad Reardon, the safety, had to come up to knock him out of bounds. 3rd and 18, no problem for the Bulldogs.
And it was a low-risk play, just having your quarterback run the ball. Not too much bad can happen, and only good things can, and good things did there.
That has to be devastating for Hudsonville. They allow the first down, and the field position, which would have been heavily flipped into the Eagles' favor, now has Grandville where they, with a first down, back in business, first man through. Nice job diving forward.
Squirmed his way to 5 yards.
And that was the first time tonight that we've seen number 6, Easton Sadinsky. I wasn't quite sure what number that was, and now Sadinsky goes off the field. But a nice pickup of 5 on first down.
Second down and 5 for Grandville.
2nd and 5 now. Normal trio of backs behind Smith. First give right up the middle. Hudsonville didn't know who had it right away. That was Kopko.
You noticed number 28, Terry, got tackled as well. Didn't even have the ball. That's what you got to do against this offense.
You have to respect and honor every possible runner. And so that requires resources being allocated to a lot of different guys. But a nice blocking scheme there by the Bulldogs. That's the other thing about the wing T is that in any offense, the offensive line doesn't get enough credit. But certainly in the wing T. And Coach Stiegel has said the offensive and defensive lines have been dominant this season for the Bulldogs. That makes the running back shine for sure. Grandville looking to stretch one out here near the Hudsonville sideline, and that will result in maybe one. Hudsonville's done a nice job on the string out plays here.
And you make a good point, Russ. This offense is so predicated on trickery and disguise that you give more credit to that than what you do the offensive linemen. But no matter how much trickery and disguise you have, it's the offensive linemen that are making those holes and allowing that ball carry to be 5 yards downfield before anybody knows who has the ball.
Well, like you said, these players have known this system for a long time. It's been what they've been running with Pop Warner football. Carson Smith breaking free with some initial pressure. And nice job there by the Eagles. The initial man through was Joshua Rusian, the linebacker. And Smith basically just ran out of bounds after a 2-yard pickup. Really like Smith. He never tries to force the issue. Understands if something's not there. You come back out on 3rd down and 4th down if needed. Keep the sticks moving. Traditional wing T backfield. This is going to be off the left side. What a beautiful hole. And an ankle tackle preventing further damage. Down to the 31-yard line goes Tyson Mann. He has both touchdowns tonight and nearly broke 3 for a 3rd.
Just by the fingernails there of the defense of Hudsonville brought him down.
And now Grandville going really quick up to the line of scrimmage. Smith now looking back to the sideline and now barking out instructions to his backfield. But Grandville, a much faster pace here after that play. This is going to be Kopko. And on 1st down, they get 6. And the machine is clicking on all cylinders right now. And you know what it might be time for, John? Now's the time for the pass play, right?
Yeah.
When that run game really gets going.
They're lulling us to sleep with the run game, and then they'll throw a pass.
It's a lullaby, John. I tell you what. Putting Hudsonville defense to sleep, that's for sure. The Eagles had their chance to flip the field. Carson Smith once again looks back to the sideline. This time Grandville taking their time. Right up the middle, and another nice gain. 1st down to the 19-yard line. It's Kopko again. Want to thank Ben Fritzma, our spotter tonight. He's kind of helping us with this wing T offense.
One thing you saw there also, though, is that won't be broadcasted is number 6, Reardon, hit the quarterback after he handed off the ball. You do that enough, too. The quarterback no longer wants to carry out his fakes, which can sometimes help the defense key on who does have the ball.
That's a good point. Smith has to be willing to take the licks, and he is. This will be a simple give to Terry. Terry working the outside. Another solid pickup on 1st down for Jaden Terry. Let's see where they mark it at the 11. That's 7 yards on 1st down. Every offensive coordinator will take that in a heartbeat. And now what was a slow-moving game due to all the scoring has really, the clock anyway is sped up as Grandville is just churning the ball down the field. Terry ran out of bounds there to stop the clock for a moment. Up the middle, Kopko.
Right at the 1st down marker, I believe. Maybe at the fuzz short.
Very close, but in all reality, it doesn't matter. Grandville is going to have 2 plays to get a yard. They can do that backwards and in their sleep.
About the best thing Hudsonville can hope for here is a turnover, and they haven't dropped the ball at all.
That is just not something you see very often from this Grandville team. They're not going to hurt themselves, at least not on offense. And a senior quarterback and Carson Smith really doing a great job here handling that ball in tight quarters. The give is up the middle, and it's for a short gain, but more than enough for a 1st down as they only needed a couple inches. I'm surprised that Kopko, the middleman, has the most carries so far tonight. He has 9 carries. It's almost like Grandville is using Man and Terry a little bit as a decoy.
Yeah, they go to man when they definitely need a first down or need a key play, but you're right, their workhorse has been Kopko.
It has been, and something that maybe should have happened a little sooner, Hudsonville calling timeout, if for no other reason than to give their players a rest. It's not like, hey, defensive coordinator, help us out here. What's Grandville running? You know what Grandville's running. They are a bread and butter wing tee squad.
But the minute you think you know what they're running, that's when they switch it up and go to the pass.
Exactly.
And I think they probably want to remind this tired team, watch out for the pass as well.
Exactly. And if you're Coach Stiegel, that's just got to make you smile ear to ear when the defense knows what you're doing and still can't stop it. And that's what can be frustrating as a player on the field, as a coach on the sideline or up here in the booth, or as a fan in the stands. You know what's coming, with the exception of that surprise pass once in a while. What an impressive offensive showing for the Bulldogs. First and goal from the 6. Down to the 3-yard line goes Man. Definitely the longest drive of the game. This drive started at the 20-yard line, but Grandville actually had a personal foul that backed them up to the 13 at one point. So after all is said and done, this could be 87 yards and a whole bunch of clock. Grandville's close, and if once again, I don't know how in the world an official, this is not a knock on Grandville whatsoever.
No,
they would have scored on the next play anyway, but I just don't understand how the official.
They had him wrapped up at the 3, and then he just kept churning and eventually lunged into the end zone. But it should have been, you would think, a forward progress situation that was stopped, and the whistle should have been blown.
Well, Kopko's been the workhorse tonight, but it's Man when it comes time to score.
Yeah.
Kopko's saying, "Come on, coach, give me a look in the red zone.
Yeah.
Give me a look inside the 5." Man now with all 3 touchdowns. Grandville up 14, looking to make it 16. They'll run a pass play here. Oh, what a catch!
Wow.
One of the great catches of the year. Almost over onto the track. And what a great play there by Braden LaCroix, the tight end. And we were told by the MGM Michigan Sports Radio Grandville announcers, they said, keep an eye out for 21. He could maybe be catching a pass or two. And that is exactly what happened there. Wow.
Would love to see the replay on that one to see if he had control going over to that sideline, but referee says yes, he did. Did not hesitate. There's 2-point conversion.
So Man now has touchdown runs of, in order, 1, 6, and 3. And Grandville has passed now on 2 of their 3 2-point attempts and extend the lead to 24-8. It seems like it's been forever since Hudsonville's had the football.
Hopefully our bang-up cameraman Brian Waring got the action there.
How about this? 28 plays for Grandville, 14 for Hudsonville. Hudsonville's run 14 plays with 4:10 to go in the opening half. Just incredible. And a chance here for Haas, the junior, on the kick return. Nice downfield coverage by the Bulldogs. Hudsonville will start from their own 21.
4:03 remaining in the quarter.
You know, John, we both agreed moments ago, or not moments ago, but on Hudsonville's last drive that they had to punt on 4th down. It just would not have been smart to roll the dice at this stage of the game, because you're going to have to get stops any way you slice it. But you got to wonder now, down 2 scores, Hudsonville has to score on this drive.
Yeah, but they do have the advantage of halftime, so if they can get a punch in here, they're going to start with the ball in the second half, and they can make up for that punt. But if they don't score here, you're right, then they're behind the 8 ball.
And Trey Carr there, a little bit of an option look. We have seen Trey Carr pitch that in the option play. That time he keeps it himself, though. Kind of a run-pitch option. And Carr got 6 yards there. Carr's doing a nice job, 30 yards on 5 carries. The rest of the team with just 13 yards. Bain with all 13. Bain, this is Drew Bain running hard, but a flag comes out. Thought that was the ball that popped out. That flag came flying in there.
I don't know what that could be other than holding, Russ, where it came from there.
Right, that's a no-doubter. And this will back Hudsonville up to 2nd and long. They'll be inside the 20. Inside their own 20. Well, the Hudsonville defense, which has been pretty solid this year, has really been torn apart by the Grandville wing T, and now the Hudsonville offense facing a 2nd and 11. And we see a jump there by Grandville. You don't see that. Very disciplined team. You don't see that very often for the Bulldogs. Well, Hudsonville gets 5 of it back here. Love having the referees mic'd. Just adds to the atmosphere.
Certainly eliminates confusion sometimes when you and I aren't sure what what the call is. We at least learn ourselves.
Well, and OK Red football is as good as it gets, and then you just add elements like that. When you have the capabilities with the sound and the technology, it makes it like a college atmosphere. Carr is going to give late here to Bain. Oh, nice block there by, I believe it was Dykstra. Allowed Bain to get close to the first down marker. It'll be 3rd and short. Some good hitting tonight.
2:38 and counting on the clock. I believe Hudsonville used one of their timeouts, and I'm not sure if they used the other 2 yet.
Pads don't crunch quite the same when it's this warm out versus the fall and late fall hits, but boy, there's been some good hitting tonight. 3rd and inches. Carr will keep.
Ooh.
Little doubt there, and he does get the first down. That'll stop the clock momentarily at 2:11. So Hudsonville will need to keep at least one eye on the clock with, like you said, John, what we believe is 2 timeouts remaining. Now inside 2 minutes, Hudsonville taking their time. Like I said, don't have to quite start passing the ball on every down. But they will do so here, and Carr throws across the middle to the tight end Dykstra. That'll be a short pickup of just 3.
A lot of effort for a little bit of gain there. Like Dykstra took a pretty good hit.
Mason Dykstra's first catch of the night. He was solid last week in Orchard Lake with Brad Reardon out. Dykstra did a solid job. Was really the main target of Carr, with Vanderveen being double teamed most of the night. Out into the flats. Nice play here by Hudsonville, and this will result in a stop clock.
Looks like it's going to be short of the first down, though, so that's important to notice.
But does stop the clock with 1:12.
3rd down and 1 for the Eagles.
That was Haas on the reception, his first of the game. Carr 7 out of 8 for 58 yards. And now a screen play to Bain. Oh, nice blocking downfield by the Eagles. Bain across the 45 to the 43-yard line. A 16-yard pickup, and the Eagles are in business here. 1:04 to go. And a short gain, but once again, Hudsonville does get out of bounds. That was Carson Dykstra on the quick route there, good for 5 yards.
Smart. The key there was to get out of bounds, and he did.
Now a couple officials are talking on the near sideline. The chains were not set is what we're being told, which means that play never happened, essentially, correct? That play never happened. Now there should be time put back on the clock, correct?
If the play didn't happen, there should certainly be time put on the clock.
Right. Well, I can't remember where it started at, but we're at 55 seconds now. And it is first down, is it not? Carr, oh, Vanderveen! This is exactly what Hudsonville needed. How Grandville lost track of Vanderveen, I'm not sure. But we've got ourselves a ball game with 46 seconds to go in the half. Wow.
Now Grandville's going to want to put that time back on the clock.
Trey Carr, 10 of 11 for 117 yards and a touchdown. That throw is on the money, and Vanderveen does the rest. His first catch of the ball game, and I believe only the second time he was targeted.
Yeah, the other time was that one incompletion by Carr.
Now this doesn't make any sense at all. Hudsonville down 10 is going to go for 1.
Perhaps.
Yeah, it just doesn't. I mean, they could fake it here, but. So absolutely no mathematical logic on that decision. They go for 2 to start the game after their first score, and now they kick an extra point, and you're still down by 2 scores. Well, this is a final score type score for the Eagles through 2 weeks. 24-15, the week 1 loss. 23-14, the week 2 loss. And now Hudsonville will have to, first of all, get a stop here. We'll see what Grandville wants to do with 46 seconds. I think a lot of it will depend on the kick return.
Yeah, although this is such a big play offense, like you mentioned earlier, I wouldn't be surprised to see him try to score regardless, or at least get into field goal range.
But the pass play won't be a surprise at this juncture.
No, but they have some big plays even on the run. Quarterback keep.
Well, absolutely, and that's what I'm saying. I don't think Grandville would take a knee per se, but how many timeouts do they have? Once again, the scoreboard is not operating on the south end of the stadium, but I thought Grandville had 3, and that's just been confirmed by our eye in the sky, Ben Fritzma. So a critical kickoff and return to see how the rest of this half will play out.
The last time Hudsonville stayed away from man, this time right to him.
This time man from the 10. Man kind of running not at full speed. He wanted to see if something developed, but nothing really did. 40 seconds now. Hudsonville will get the ball to start the second half.
Yep.
So that's certainly a big plus for them, but they absolutely need to play defense here for 40 seconds. What do you think Grandville does here, John?
I think they're conservative, but I don't think they take a knee. I think they're still going to try to score, but yeah, are they going to go Air McNair? I don't think so. I think they'll stick with their run and try to get a big play on it.
Air McNair. Rest in peace, Steve McNair, I believe was that reference.
It was.
Well, now we'll see if Grandville just runs it out. 2 yards on first down. And that appears to be the direction they're going. Well, they might snap her one more time. 8 seconds now. They don't have to snap it. Seems kind of pointless to do so, and will not. So that will take us to halftime. If you're Coach Stiegel, you've got to be pleased with the offense. The only time they were stopped was by the rule book. In other words, we're at halftime. we have to take a break.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Grandville's offense just potent in that first half. We'll take a look at the stats when we come back to get ready for the second half, but your reflections through 24 minutes.
Yeah, you mentioned Grandville's got to be pleased, and they certainly do, but Hudsonville can't be completely disappointed either. To have things happen the way they happened and still be in this game, they got to go into the halftime thinking they certainly got a shot here.
Well, from a mathematical but also a psychological standpoint, it doesn't make sense why Hudsonville didn't go for 2. If you go for 2 and don't get it, you're down 10. If you go for 2 and get it, you're within 1 score, 1 possession, and I think psychologically that would have made a difference. Instead, they elect to go for the extra point, cut it to 9. 9 has no more of a psychological benefit than 10 as you're going into the locker room. So don't mean to belabor that point, but that could be interesting as this game develops. So as the Hudsonville Marching Band gets ready to perform at halftime, we will take a break. And we look forward to second half action here between the Bulldogs and the Eagles in this OK Red Border War clash. Grandville leading 24-15. We'll be back with the second half right after this.
DJ's Pizza Plus, located at 3471 Kelly Street, Hudsonville, DJ's is newly remodeled and ready for you to stop in. Grab a drink and watch the game, or try some delicious pie. A proud sponsor of WCET TV Sports and In the Zone, DJ's Pizza Kitchen is available for by the slice, dining in with family and friends, carry out, and delivery. DJ's Pizza Plus. Thank you for supporting WCET.
Welcome back, football fans, to the second half here at Hudsonville Eagles Stadium, where it's Hudsonville 15 and Grandville 24. First half stats: Hudsonville 49 yards rushing, 117 yards passing for a total of 166 yards and 15 points. Grandville 135 yards rushing, 37 yards passing for 172 yards total, but 24 points on the scoreboard, and that's what matters, Russ.
Grandville +6 in yards, but +9 on the big board. And Hudsonville will get the ball to start the second half. Trey Carr was real solid, 10 out of 11 for 117 yards and a touchdown. He also had 6 carries for 32 yards. The only other Hudsonville rushing tonight is Drew Bain, 5 carries for 17 yards, and he has a rushing touchdown. Leading receiver in terms of yardage, Eli Vanderveen, 41 yards and a touchdown. In terms of receptions, Carson Dykstra has 4, but for only 27 yards.
I think the story here, though, Russ, is the efficiency of Grandville. Have not turned the ball over, have not punted. Did have we talked about at halftime, the 2 penalties, but other than that, played pretty well, pretty flawless football.
And speaking of the Grandville offense, Carson Smith, I've only got him officially with 1 passing attempt. Another one, I think there was that penalty involved. So Smith 1 for 1, 37 yards. He has 4 carries for 35. And then the 3-headed monster in the backfield, Carson Kopko, 10 carries for 37. Jaden Terry, 4 carries for 15. But the story, Tyson Mann, 9 carries for 42 yards, but 3 touchdowns.
And as much as I think Grandville would like to control that ball on the ground to keep Hudsonville off the field, I bet you see a whole lot more passing out of Grandville in the second half.
Grandville came in averaging 47 points a game. They're on their, they're halfway to 48 right now at the midway point of this game. So a critical drive to start the third quarter.
Hudsonville chose to defer in the kickoff, so they will receive the ball right now.
Seems like most teams do defer at all levels, really. Strock on the kickoff, and the ball's on the ground. Quickly picked up by Haas, and this might work out in Hudsonville's favor. Haas all the way out to midfield.
And a flag.
Oh, wow. This will bring it into Grandville territory for sure.
Guessing a horse collar, perhaps, by the kicker?
Well, yeah, that's what's interesting. It was the kicker who had made the tackle, correct?
I believe so.
Strock at 5'9", 155 was pressed into duty there as the last line of defense. They marked Haas out of bounds at the, what do we got here, 40. Well, hold on now. Who is the penalty? Okay, now they're marking it off. So the ball was originally marked at the 43. Initially, I thought Haas maybe got near midfield. And so now the 15-yard penalty will put it at the 42-yard line of the Bulldogs.
First start of this game was all Grandville field position, but the start of this half right now is Hudsonville's field position.
What looked like might be Grand Apps pulling away is now a 9-point game, and the Eagles with great field position. Carr on first down. Solid running. Solid 6 yards there. Boy, something tells me we've still got some big-time plays to be made in this game by both sides.
No time to panic for either team. Plenty of time left in this one.
A lot of athletes, a lot of speed down on the field tonight, both sides. Now 2nd and 4. Hudsonville certainly in 4-down territory at this point. Might air it out. Nope, they'll give to Bain across the 35-yard line. That'll bring up 3rd and 2.
On the carry. Stopped in number 22, Doran for the Bulldogs. Brings up 3rd down for the Eagles. 3rd down and 3.
3rd and short 3, long 2. Well, like I said, you got 2 plays to get 3 yards here. Do you maybe air one out downfield?
Yeah, certainly with the way this game is setting up, you're definitely got 2 plays here. Why not take a chance on one of them?
Single coverage on Vanderveen with the safety shading in that direction. Safety playing way up. And this is Carr. He's got a nice hole and a nice cutback. Down to the 25-yard line. They'll mark him at the 26. But a fresh set of downs for the Eagles here on the opening drive of the second half.
First down, Hudsonville. 1st and 10.
Trey Carr, a running threat all season long. Hudsonville really taking their time here getting the play called in. They did have a couple of personnel changes. Bain will be to the right of Carr. 2 tight ends in the formation. Carr, bulldozing straight forward. Nice job that time by the Bulldogs defense, a gain of 2.
Carr on the quarterback keeper.
Interesting there. I thought Hudsonville might have a little wrinkle there with the 2 tight end set. But just a simple quarterback wildcat run. Hudsonville continuing to take their time. The defense just had a halftime rest. I don't think the offense doesn't have to go this slow. Give to Bain. And Bain does a nice job of making the first man miss, but Grandville, their defense seems like sometimes they got more than 11 out there. They don't, but it just seems that way. So now 3rd and 8. You got 2 plays to get 8.
3rd down for Hudsonville. 3rd down and 8.
Hudsonville now with 4 receivers, 3 to the bottom of the formation. Tight ends are out of the ball game, so this will be interesting here. Hudsonville hasn't had 4 true receivers, I don't think, all night. Carr gonna look to his left, He's got a running back, Bain. Oh, quickly closing. That's amazing closing speed by the Grandville defense, specifically Hungerford, along with Avon Cott. Great defense.
Huge play here, Russ.
Certainly the biggest play of the game thus far. Hudsonville absolutely needs to convert.
Oh, what a mistake there.
Oh, wow. Is it enough for a first down? It's 4th and 5.
If it's not, it's enough to change the play here for Hudsonville. And
if it's right, let's see here. Holy smokes, let's see where the mark is, because first down, the officials say. It was close. No measurement needed.
Ooh.
And now the ball's at the 16-yard line, 1st and 10.
Sometimes the biggest play of the game, Russ, is no play at all.
Grandville has been so solid tonight. Only 2 penalties, that one being the 3rd. But a critical one there to give Hudsonville a first down as the drive continues now. Now over 4 minutes and 20 seconds of drive time. Good initial block, but once again, just swarming defense. So impressive. The yards after catch or the yards after contact, so minimal for the Eagles tonight.
Nice job fighting off that block. The Grandville defender coming up, making a sure tackle.
Boy, the initial block was there.
Was.
But then all of a sudden, 2 Bulldogs come flying in. Great closing speed, which Coach Stiegel says this is the fastest team he's had. Carr now, he's going to look towards the corner. It's underthrown and intercepted. The ball was well underthrown and coming in underneath with the INT. Big time play there. Who was it that caught it? It was Tyson Mann, who also plays free safety and defensive back. Mann has his handprints all over this game. 3 touchdowns and now a critical interception. Well, what's going on here with the spot? Was it caught in the end zone? Ball should
be the question, I believe.
Right. Ball should be at the 20.
First down and 10 for the Bulldogs. 20-yard line.
Trey Carr, only his 2nd incomplete pass of the game, but this one for an interception. Carr now with 3 interceptions this year. He had 1 all of last year. Terry trying to make the first man miss. He does. Oh, a huge hit. I don't see a flag. It was in play. That was Rosian for Hudsonville again.
9 yards gained on that play.
Big hit. Terry ultimately, though, with the last laugh, he got 9 yards.
Yes, he did.
Grandville with their first drive here of the 3rd quarter. Hudsonville had an excellent opening possession, but the Bulldogs come up big with the pick in the end zone. 2nd and 1. It is Carson Smith on the keeper. We haven't called his name in a long time. Grandville has not passed in a while.
Kind of a busted play, but it was good enough for a first down.
And just Smith's 5th official carry of the night. Grandville has thrown it just once officially. The 2-point conversions don't go towards the overall stats, but the Bulldogs did convert 2 2-point conversions via the pass. Now on 1st and 10, this would maybe be the time to throw in the wrinkle. Of course, Hudsonville hasn't had any success stopping the ground game, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If you're Coach Stiegel. This is Mann up top on the Grandville sideline. He dives forward. Let's see where they mark it. It'll be a couple yards shy of another first down. 8 yards on first down. It's been a great team effort tonight by the Bulldogs. But Tyson Mann, perhaps with the play of the game thus far on defense, to add on to his big night with the 3 touchdowns on the ground. 2nd and 2, maybe now's the surprise pass play. Up the middle, this is going to be Terry.
No place to go. I don't think he got the first down.
Great job there by the Eagles. That's the first time they've gone Terry right up the middle. Usually that's Kopko, who is in the game. So third and about a half a yard. 5:30 to go and ticking here in the third quarter. Grandville leads Hudsonville 24-15 in this OK Red opener. John Van Lon, Ben Fritzma, and I'm Russell Chesky.
And Tyler Vincent on camera.
Excellent. No trickery on the count. It's a simple give for 2 yards and a first down for man. Clock stops momentarily as the chains reset, and now things are turning again. Grandville went a little more tempo at moments of the first half, and now slowing it back down. When you're ahead by 9, and now Carson Smith has to go to the sideline for a second time. The play clock could be an issue now, which is not visible here in Hudsonville, but I'd have to imagine it's pretty close. Grandville gets the playoff. It's the fullback dive with Kopko, only 2 yards. The other nice thing about the wing tee, John, is you don't have to rely on just one workhorse back. You're never going to have one guy with 30 carries. And when you're a running back, you're getting in a car collision pretty much every time you touch it. And you only have to do it 12, 15 times. Nice hole initially for Terry. He leans forward to the midfield marker. In fact, they'll mark it just across midfield, bringing up a 3rd and 3.
I said early on, this Grandville team is not 3-4 yards in a cloud of dust, but they've kind of proven me wrong here on this drive.
Yeah, this is the traditional Grandville drive. 4 yards, 4 yards, 4 yards. And taking a lot of time off the clock. Hudsonville needs a stop. They need to create a turnover, something. Oh, nice defense there by Hudsonville. This will be short of the first down. Decision time for Grandville, or is this not a decision?
It's decision time, but I think the decision is going to be to go for it. With the lead, that's going to be another nail in the coffin and momentum breaker if they pick it up. If they don't, on the other hand, that's a great opportunity for Hudsonville.
Boy, this if there was ever a time for a stop, now is that time if you're Hudsonville. Grandville once again taking a ton of time offensively.
Do you sell out on the run here, Russ?
You have to. You have to. The give.
Yep. No surprise there, right to man.
Not much, but enough for a first down.
Whenever they've needed something tonight, it's always been man.
Yes. On both sides of the ball. So now 2:42 to go as the chains reset. And Grandville in no rush whatsoever. Game just flying along right now with the consistent ground game for the Bulldogs, looking to go to 3-0. Oh, here's a motion man. What could this be? It's a pass play. Hudsonville has it well defended, but a nice pass by Smith right on the money. This will be close to another first down for the Bulldogs. That's LaCroix. He had a 2-point conversion earlier in the game. Now, Hudsonville did have that covered fairly well, but Smith put it right on the money.
You can certainly motion anybody you want to, but I don't know that you can motion and then turn upfield. And it looks like that. Looked to me like that's what the Grandville player did. You've got to keep that motion horizontal.
The ball now at the 35-yard line. LaCroix was tackled out of bounds. Clock stopped. And a little bit of a slip there. That was man. First time tonight we've seen him get tripped up.
Hudsonville's thinking, where was that on the 4th and 2?
Right. Man hasn't been explosive by any means. 57 yards on 14 carries. That's right at that 4-yard average, which that's going to be efficient. And Man's touchdown runs were of 1, 6, and 3 yards. But I've said it once, I'll say it again. This Grandville team just doesn't turn the football over. They wrap it up on every touch. Pass. Wide open out of the backfield. Hudsonville closes quickly, so it will not be a first down. But that's LaCroix again. Are you surprised that Grandville's mixing in some passing right now?
No, I called it coming into the second half. I thought they would have a whole lot more pass attempts. Of course, it's not hard to have more pass attempts when they only had the 2 in the first half. But I think they got to stay balanced. Otherwise, Hudsonville sells out on the run, and nobody can be that effective when Hudsonville knows exactly what you're going to do.
Yeah, 200% increase in pass plays here in the second half. Back to the ground. Off to the right side. Good power running down to the 20-yard line. That was Terry. First down again, Bulldogs. We said in the first half, this kind of lulls you to sleep. But if you're Grandville's offensive line, you're just loving this. You're absolutely loving this. This is the second long drive of the night, the second time the Bulldogs have started from the 20.
And not to harp on it, but especially that decision to go for 1 before the half gives Grandville the opportunity to lull you to sleep.
Yeah, it's a 2-possession game here, right, as we're near the end of the third quarter. It's a little bit tougher to stay engaged when you know you need 2 scores.
Right.
Hudsonville hasn't broken 15 points yet this year. Grandville could possibly run out the third quarter here. $20 seconds. They might have to run one more play to be safe here with the play clock. We're down to 15 seconds. 2nd and 10. The first down play didn't go anywhere. One more play here off the right side. Nice job by Terry down to the 14-yard line. That's a pickup of 6. So when we come back to start the fourth quarter, it will be third down. A critical play upcoming as we've played 3 quarters. The halftime score is our end of third quarter score, 24-15 Bulldogs. We'll be back for the final 12 minutes. You're watching high school football on WCET.
DJ's Pizza Plus. Located at 3471 Kelly Street, Hudsonville, DJ's is newly remodeled and ready for you to stop in. Grab a drink and watch the game, or try some delicious pie. A proud sponsor of WCET TV Sports and In the Zone, DJ's Pizza Kitchen is available for by the slice, dining in with family and friends, carry out, and delivery. DJ's Pizza Plus. Thank you for supporting WCET.
Getting ready to start the fourth quarter here in this OK Red opener for both teams. Grandville looking to go to 3-0 overall. Hudsonville trying to avoid their first 0-3 start since 1997.
What were you doing in 1997, Russ?
Well, I was freshman in high school. We all know what happened in '98. It started the great Hudsonville run. So maybe a reset button here on the program. I don't know, but that's neither here nor there. It's going to be fourth down again, and this one will be a solid 2 yards. It's Tyler Mann time, right?
I would suspect you'll see Tyler Mann involved in this play.
Grandville has made a 22-yard field goal this year. This would be from 30. But no question, Grandville is going for it. Oh, it's a keeper. Smith fooled everybody. Has the first down and steps out of bounds at the 9-yard line. Great deception. And you hate to say with 11:17 to go, John, that a score here would be a final nail in the coffin. But this would be a 2-possession game. Hudsonville hasn't stopped Grandville all night.
Grandville's not making any mistakes at all.
Grandville hasn't punted or turned it over on downs once. The only time a Grandville possession didn't end in a score was the end of the first half when the clock hit triple zeros. So this could be your ball game. Would give up the gut to the 5 on first down. Once again, 4-down territory. Hudsonville has stopped the big play tonight, which Grandville, surprisingly, that's what they've been known for the first couple weeks, specifically week 1 against Grand Blanc. But Grandville just churning out 4 or 5 yards at a time. Pass, but no, it's a keeper. Smith lowers the shoulder and he's in. With 10:38 to go, a critical score for the Dogs. And a 2-point conversion, a successful 2-point conversion, John, would actually make it a 3-possession game.
You can't afford that if you're Hudsonville.
Boy, another reason why you needed to go for 2 earlier. Just seemed like a strange mathematical and psychological decision. We don't mean to beat a dead horse over this, but now Grandville rolling and in a position to go up by 17. First score there of the second half. Simple give to Terry. Terry is in. Dives in, just got over the line. And there you go, Grandville with 10:37 to go in the game has just extended the lead from 9 to 17.
10:37 remaining. Grandville 32, Hudsonville.
A lot of heart that time by the freshman Terry to get in that end zone. Big difference between the landing on the 1-foot yard line and landing in that end zone.
Okay, red action, East Kentwood leading Grand Haven 28-0. That's at the end of the third. We have a moment to kind of look ahead to the schedule here upcoming for both teams. Let's start with Granville. They'll be back home next week against West Ottawa. And West Ottawa is 2-0.
And they're battling Rockford tonight.
Yep.
And last I saw, it was relatively close. I haven't got an updated score lately, but.
And then in week 5, Granville will host Caledonia, followed by week 6 at Rockford. And so I think the OK Red could be defined in the next 2 weeks. Next week, Hudsonville takes on Caledonia on the road. Not going to get any easier. This is Haas again to the 27. And then Hudsonville actually 2 more road games, Caledonia and West Ottawa. Through 5 weeks of the season, Hudsonville will have played 1 home game, this one here tonight. Before Jenison and Rockford come in, we'll have that Rockford game for you right here on WCET, as well as the Week 9 game between the Eagles and the Buccaneers of Grand Haven.
We take the shackles off here, Russ, and
you gotta sling it now.
The ball.
Yep, gotta sling it. No point in trying to stay balanced or keep the defense honest, and
just
they go to the ground for a yard.
Yeah.
That one didn't make a lot of sense there.
No, the clock's not your friend. The scoreboard's not your friend. You got to put up some points in a hurry. Still hope to have things happen on the other side of the ball.
Point, if you're Hudsonville, like we said, down 3 possessions now, this is going to be a tough uphill climb. But boy, if you don't get a first down, your defense has to go right back out there again.
Yeah.
Another run with Bain.
I mean, you've got arguably two of the best wide receivers in the conference out there, Reardon and Eli Vanderveen. You got a good tight end in Mason Dykstra.
Reardon and Vanderveen with 1 catch each. And you got to credit the Granville defense.
Well, but there's not been a lot of attempts even.
No, well, Hudsonville hasn't had the ball in the second half.
Right, they got it now. They got to do something with it.
At one point in the first half, the plays were 2-1. Granville 28-14. That was late in the second quarter. Now 3rd and long. Hudsonville will throw underneath, and there's a nice play to Dykstra. You called it. The tight end Mason Dykstra across midfield to the 49. About 16 yards unofficially. Trey Carr now 13 of 15. Certainly his best game of the year in terms of completion percentage. 136 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception.
And you say this Grandville defense shouldn't be tired because they haven't been on the field, but a lot of these players are two-way players.
Nice route here by the Eagles, and just off the fingertips there. Just a little too strong. That was Carson Dykstra. The Dykstra brothers, Mason the senior, Carson the sophomore. Well, there's the shots you got to take, though. I mean, no harm in that.
No time off the clock. Clock stops.
If you're Hudsonville, you need something quick. 8:54 to go in the ball game as the pace has slowed down considerably now with Hudsonville starting to throw a bit. Screen play. I don't know if it was ever caught. That was an incomplete pass. I don't know if you saw it. Was it caught in 2 steps?
Looked like it caught and then went to put the ball into his gut there and lost it. So I think it was probably not possessed. No football play, as they say.
Well, I tell you what, though, Hudsonville throws in a wrinkle there with a screen play. Grandville had it well defended. Yeah, it would not have been for a very, very big gain had it been caught.
What that does, though, Russ, is kind of slows down the rush a little bit so they don't tee off on Carr.
Sure. Carr has plenty of time this time. Steps up, caught by Vanderveen. Look at Eli run. Oh my goodness, is this kid an athlete? And you just got to find a way to get him more touches. 2 touches, 2 touchdowns.
Absolutely right. Especially with Reardon out there now, everybody's going to key on Vanderveen. They can't afford to do that. Use Vanderveen, Reardon as much as you can.
Carr now up to 182 yards passing, and Vanderveen with both touchdown receptions. Just 2 catches for 87 yards. Now, the score is 11. So the math says here you go for 1. You cut it to 10, and Hudsonville going for 2. They've got to get the chart, which gives you the math of when you need to go for it. 1 or 2, that is. Irrelevant now because Carr will get it to cut it to 9. So we're back to where we were at halftime.
For some reason, Sandy likes that 9-point swing there, I guess.
9 points it is. So not so fast. We both said final nail in the coffin with that Grandville last score. We've still got 8:36 to go. But in all honesty, the only way Hudsonville is going to stop Grandville is by recovering an onside kick.
Right. How big is that extra point now of Grandville's where Terry just barely lunged over the goal line? Without that, It's a 1-score game.
Right, you said it would come down to the extra points or the conversions, and Grandville's 4 for 4 on their 2-point attempts. Hudsonville has scored 3 touchdowns tonight, and they are
3 for 3 on their extra points, but one of them was a kick instead of a...
Went for 1 for no reason,
yeah.
So 32-23, a very strange score. Hudsonville, though, a familiar spot for them. They've lost their first 2 games this year by 9 points. They've lost 8 straight in the regular season by single digits. I mean, it's almost the irony of the 9-point deficit right now.
And yet, when you look across the field, what do you see? You see a lot of taillights leaving the place. This game is far from over.
Well, I also see 9 of the 11 Grandville players up pretty close to midfield. They are fully expecting an onside kick. And if you're Hudsonville, why not? You have nothing to lose at this point. You're going to see an onside or a pooch kick here. It wouldn't make any sense to kick this off. 4 Eagles to the bottom of the formation, 6 to the top. So you figure they're going up top with it. That is the case. Oh, nice job. Nice job by the Bulldog Hands team. It never was bobbled or batted around. And the Bulldogs will take over right at midfield, the nose of the football, just over the 50-yard line.
Grandville. Bulldogs will take over. First and 10 on the 50-yard line.
Well, Hudsonville only needed 2 minutes and 1 second to score their touchdown.
Hudsonville without the services of Emmanuel Diepa this year. Their longtime kicker has moved on. So.
Well, the sophomore Munoz, playing soccer and football, has done a nice job. Not a Terry here off the right side. Oh boy, I thought he could have broke free there, but
caught from behind.
Taking down there by number 21, Ethan Post for the Eagles.
7 yards, the official gain. We've seen a lot more of Jaden Terry here in the second half. I think after it's all said and done, Coach Stiegel wants things pretty balanced. Unofficially, Terry with 11 carries, Kopko 12, and Mann 15. 11, 12, 15. And the quarterback Smith officially with 6 carries. Clock now a huge enemy, as well as the wing tee for Hudsonville. Jaden Terry. Well, let's see here where they mark it. The forward progress definitely at the first down, and they will give Terry the benefit of the forward progress to the 38-yard line. First down. Clock stops momentarily for the first down.
First and 10 from the Hudsonville 38-yard line.
As far as yardage goes, 52 yards for Terry, 42 for Kopko, and 58 for Mann. Nothing flashy as far as 100-yard runners, 150-yard runners. You know, there's still time. I mean, I'm not giving Grandville a challenge here.
Right.
But
the biggest stat, one you didn't even mention, that's 0 turnovers.
Well, it's just
they're possessing the ball.
It's steady. It's fundamental. It's reliable. What do we got here? Smith. That fooled a lot of people. Smith stayed in bounds and delivered the blow. How about that? Down to the 32-yard line. Boy, that was impressive there. As impressive as a 6-yard run as you're going to see, with Smith lowering the shoulder and smart enough to stay in bounds.
It's like Hudsonville had him stopped in the backfield going to the back, and Smith just pulled it out of the back's gut, ran with it himself, and picked up positive yardage and stayed in bounds.
6:30 to go and ticking. Hudsonville defense hasn't had a stop once tonight. There was some movement there. This is going to be on Grandville. A rare error for Grandville. In fact, it's almost shocking to see the offense not in sync there. It looked like almost a couple guys on the left side of the line.
Fortunately, that penalty is Hudsonville's best defensive effort. They can't stop them themselves, but the penalty will certainly hinder them.
Clock will start running again, so if there's any benefit there for Grandville, it is the fact that they'll churn off another 20, 25 seconds if they so desire. 2nd and 9, Grandville says, okay, back to work. Terry, who's been the workhorse in the second half, only a freshman. And if you're a Grandville fan, you're loving the fact that he's only a freshman. If you're a Hudsonville fan or Rockford or Jenison, not so much.
No, not so much at all. You'll hear that name a lot over the next 4 years.
That time only 1 yard, and it's 3rd and 9. Grandville hasn't had too many of these tonight. And now I am interested to see what the play call is.
Yeah, and what the decision would be if they don't do much here.
I'll tell you what it is. They're going to go for it on 4th down. And I think they're going to run it here, honestly. I think they want to burn another 30 seconds. They don't want Eli Vanderveen to get another shot. No, it is a pass. Smith, nobody's open. He's going to have to take it himself. He's got a slower linebacker chasing him, but Smith now runs out of bounds at the 30. It'll be 4th and 2.
You would have liked to have seen him slide right there and stay in bounds.
Yeah, it would have been one thing if he could have gotten the first down,
right,
and then just run out of bounds. But yeah, he wasn't there. 2 yards short. with 5:04 to go, and 4th and 2, they're going for it. Can Hudsonville come up with their first defensive stop of the night?
How huge would this be if it was an 8-point game and not a 9-point game?
There'd just be a whole different energy in the stadium, on this side anyway. Keeper Smith. Once again, his tight end LaCroix was pretty well covered, but Smith puts it on the money. What a big-time play there.
That might be the nail you were looking for, Russ.
Well, we both agreed that it had already been inserted. Maybe a little premature, but I've been so impressed with Smith's accuracy. His first throw of the night was a little underthrown, and it prevented a touchdown from being scored. But he has had to fit in a couple of tight balls in critical situations to LaCroix. And the clock turning again at 4:30. At this point, the only way Grandville could lose this game is if they turn the ball over.
Yeah.
And if I was a betting man, I would not take that. Hudsonville now has to use their timeouts. They use their first. And once again, I mentioned this in the first half, this is as much for a rest as it is to actually stop the clock.
Yeah, right now, though, the clock is the important thing. They can rest the rest of the night, but you got to stop that clock if you want any chance at all of forcing a turnover and having time to come down and get 2 scores afterwards.
Well, it would be fitting if the deficit stayed at single digits, as that's been Hudsonville's streak here, 8 straight losses in single digits.
First time you've seen Grandville with your own eyes this year. Russ, what do you think?
Very impressed. Very impressed. I mean, on both sides of the ball, too. I mean, the key for the offense to be able to stick to the ground is the defense getting stops. And you don't have to get a ton of stops, but I really like Grandville moving forward. And in the next couple weeks, as we see Grandville going up against Caledonia and Rockford in week 5 and 6, boy, those are going to be some great games. Not just for the Red, but for the state. Terry cuts it back to stay in bounds. Now he goes back outside to score! Terry! He's been the man here on the last couple of drives. And he says, hey, I can get 1 too into the house. Grandville with a 2-point conversion would get to 40. Wow, just so good. Terry, not very tall, 5'9", but 170 pounds as a freshman. Grandville looking to extend it to 17 once again. This is critical in the sense that it would make it 3 possessions
scores,
instead of 2.
If anything, you could make the argument Grandville scored too soon.
Terry off the right side.
He's in.
And he's in.
Yep, mute point now.
Granville had 24 points at halftime, 16 now in the second half, for a solid 40 against a Hudsonville defense that has been pretty good the first 2 weeks of the season. But you asked me what I thought. This is as good as the wing tee as I've seen from Coach Stiegel. He's got 3 solid backs. He's got a quarterback that can definitely throw when asked to.
And run.
And the defense, I said earlier, it seems like there's been 12 guys, 13 guys on the field on certain plays. And when Hudsonville has had a little green in front of them, the gap is closed so quickly. And that was the big story coming into the year is speed, speed, speed for Grandville. And definitely saw that on both sides of the ball, specifically defense. 4:11 to go. Hudsonville will try to pad some stats through the air again. Might as well throw them up to Vanderveen or Reardon. This is Haas running hard. Nothing there initially. But hey, look at Haas out to the 44-yard line. Some really nice running there by Jonathan Haas. No relation, I don't think, to Eric Haas on the Tigers.
Could be.
Not a last name you see very often. Trey Carr, 14 out of 17 for 182 yards tonight. He's been pretty solid, 9 carries for 48, but no other running game tonight. And the thought was with Drew Bain back that the running game would get going tonight. Drew Bain's a solid back, so that's another credit to the Grandville defense. Carr throws back. Oh, nice what catch. A catch!
Reardon.
We've seen some great ones tonight. That's Reardon. From the 45 down to the 32, that's a gain of 23. Wow. That had some zip on it, too. That wasn't like it was a lofted pass.
No, kind of throwing behind him, but he was able to reel it in and make the catch.
Boy, some entertaining play throughout. And it continues here late into the fourth quarter. Maybe Hudsonville should have been doing this from the get-go. Vanderveen, it's underthrown again and nearly intercepted. Boy, if you're Carr, you've got to put that in a spot where it's either Vanderveen or incomplete.
Nobody, yeah, and the way Vanderveen can leap, it's probably going to be Vanderveen if you get that thing up high enough. It's like a little cramping going on by the offensive line there.
When the ball was first in the air, I thought it was a touchdown because there was separation.
Yep.
And Vanderveen doesn't need much separation.
And that's really the same as the interception on the
yes, that was really the turning point of the game.
Underthrown.
That was a big moment. 3:24 to go now, 2nd and 10. Ball at the 33. Carr will throw again. Throws underneath. This is Vanderveen. And Vanderveen's 39-yard per catch average goes down a little bit there with the 9-yard play. Season high in yards for Carr. He's up to 214. Carr on the keeper now. This will be a first down. Smart play call. That was a good time for that. Now the clock stops and Hudsonville down to the 10 with 2:51 to go. Eagles have 2 timeouts. I believe Grandville has all 3. If they might want to burn one just to slow some things down here a little bit. Hudsonville is really moving things right now. Ball from the 10, and that's exactly what Coach Stiegel wants. As Hudsonville moving the ball here, there seems to be a little more sense of urgency the last 2 drives, obviously with the clock and the score, but also the fact that Hudsonville's passing the ball downfield. Well, some of the other action in the OK Red tonight, Caledonia was leading Jenison big early. That game just down the road. And Unity Christian and Coopersville all tied up at 21 through 3. Also in the OK Red tonight, East Kentwood was rolling over Grand Haven.
This East Kentwood team might be for real, Russ.
Well, they beat Brother Rice.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about the OK Red being decided between Caledonia and Rockford, but don't count East Kentwood out.
Haven't heard from Rockford and West Ottawa in a while. We'll see if we can get that score to you before we go off the air. Ten-yard line, first and goal for the Eagles. Ball just outside the 10, but essentially first and goal. Carr has some room if he gets a block. The cutback is there. Touchdown. After all is said and done, there's going to be a lot of points on the board tonight. 11-point game. That means you go for 1, cut it to 10.
So in true character, they'll go for 2.
Trey Carr now 3 touchdowns, 2 through the air, 1 on the ground. He did have a costly interception, but overall, Trey Carr's played pretty well tonight.
Yeah, just a couple underthrown balls. Other than that, he's played flawlessly. But I think you and Coach Sandy have a different chart to go by.
I'll send you one. I'll email you one. All right.
Oh, maybe.
Well, hold on. Who called timeout here? Okay, Grandville called the timeout. I don't know if that's a final, but we've got Rockford over West Ottawa 24-13. That tells me West Ottawa's for real.
Yeah.
And they have a new coach this year, Pat Collins, who came over from Montague, I believe. And it just seems to be a different culture, a different feel. I mean, opening a new stadium doesn't improve your players' 40 time or strength, does it? But
it does give you a little momentum, a little excitement, a little, yeah.
It's been a culture change there at West Ottawa. And I'm sure tonight that was a massive crowd out in Holland for that one.
Although we did see the 10-yard line make a tackle here tonight. Maybe that field at West Ottawa was making some tackles. I don't know.
I saw that Holland High is going to be shutting down their football program.
I saw that too.
My first thought on that was, have any of those guys transferred to West Ottawa? Could that be something we see down the road, that West Ottawa becomes a football destination? You know, they have had a couple decent years, but not recently.
No.
48-0 Caledonia over Jenison. Would not want to play Caledonia right now, although I'm looking forward to that Grandville-Caledonia matchup. 2-point conversion, deflected. And so it'll remain 40-29 with 2:29 to go, and we get to see another onside kick.
2:29 remaining. Grandville 40, Hudsonville 29.
Well, it's been an entertaining game, no question about that. Well, now, what are your thoughts on, I've heard potentially in the NFL, getting rid of the onside kick? Because with the rule, you have to have a certain amount of players on each side of the ball to prevent, like, massive collisions. The success rate of an onside kick is very small. So have you heard the alternative?
No.
You get a play from scrimmage from your own 25-yard line. You have to get 15 yards. If you convert, you keep the ball. Greg Schiano came up with that idea. And honestly, I think that would be more exciting than an onside kick. So imagine Hudsonville now, they get one play from the 25-yard line. They got to get 15 yards. If they get 15 yards, they keep the ball.
So what's the risk? If they don't get 15 yards, the other team takes over from where they...
Correct. So obviously there's a high risk involved, but it's more exciting than an onside kick when you have to separate your players on each side of the ball. It used to be you could put everybody on one side of the ball. Then you could send... We've got a illegal substitution on Grandville, but it used to be you could put all the guys on one side and then have 2 or 3 guys just go tee off on the first line.
Ladies and gentlemen, just announced at our concession stand for your ride home.
Well, free 5 yards for the Eagles if they were to recover it now. Still has to go 10 yards.
For $1 brats and hot dogs. Available right now.
So it'll have to go all the way to the other 45-yard line.
Do you want me to have Ben Fritzman go get you a couple brats for the ride home, Russ? 2 for $1 right now.
We were treated very well up here.
Yeah, but that's never stopped you before.
Let's see if Munoz can get the kick.
Out of bounds.
Or the hop, rather, but no, it goes straight out of bounds. Yeah, Hudsonville Athletic Director Ben Farkas treating us really well up here. Of course, us media, we're working hard, right? We're working hard well before the game to get prepped for the broadcast.
You've definitely worked off any calories you've taken in tonight.
Well, I don't know if I've worked it off, really. I've just been sitting in a chair, but it's been a pleasure to bring this one, though, to you. 2:29 to go.
Beautiful night. Couldn't draw up a better night, probably.
And you know me, I'm the resident WCT weatherman as well. Looking ahead at the extended forecast, summer's not going anywhere. I see a little cool down early in the week, but then I saw 80s again. So week 4 looks good. And usually it's about week 4 or 5 when things start to turn, right?
One thing I didn't hear from you is your official attendance for tonight.
It's a sack in the backfield. Hudsonville's got to call those timeouts. I believe they have one more remaining. Well, the stadium seats 5,735 officially, and when you look at all the people that were on the hill and all the people that were down by the concessions, I think it was pretty close to 5,735.
I can't dispute it.
Both student sections showed up in full force.
Early.
Once again, looking at the upcoming schedule, Grandville will be hosting a rejuvenated West Ottawa program next week. And then week 5, Grandville hosting Caledonia. Week 6 at Rockford. So things are going to get real interesting here.
I wonder if that West Ottawa game could be a trap game for Grandville, looking ahead to...
The Wing T doesn't have trap games. They just keep executing.
There's no room for that, is there?
They just keep executing. Hudsonville at Caledonia, and then at West Ottawa before your rivalry game with Jenison. Rockford coming in. It's not going to get any easier for either of these teams. The difference being Grandville's 3-0. Hudsonville's 0-3.
Yeah.
Terry. Oh, nice initial hit there. But Terry, did he stay in bounds? He did not. Slides out of bounds, so Hudsonville gets a timeout there. And let's see, it is third down. Well, you almost wonder if Kopko or Mann are not at 100%. Especially Kopko, he's only had 2 touches in the second half. It has been a heavy dose of Jaden Terry, the freshman.
Well, and Mann I know has been going both ways, and with with these temperatures and the cramping going on out there, they may just want to give him a little blow.
Terry now at 80 yards. He might get 100. Let's see, up the middle, but it will be short. It's going to be fourth down, and Hudsonville should use their last timeout here. They do. There's still 2:07 remaining, and a fourth down coming up for Grandville. Well, let's talk NFL real briefly, because as we broadcast this game, we're 2 days away from the opening Sunday. Of course, the defending champion Rams, boy, they got beat real good last night by the Bills. Maybe the Bills are the Super Bowl favorite, you think?
Yeah, I don't think the Rams ever came out of the locker room. You know, you just wonder if teams just lose that edge, that hunger a little bit once they've won a Super Bowl like that. Is it the same preparations, the same offseason, a lot of distractions?
Is Stafford's elbow 100% coming off the surgery? But the Lions will host the Eagles, and what I heard was a sellout. Ford Field sold out
I heard that
opening day.
I think you can thank Hard Knocks for a lot of that, I think.
Yeah, that's a good point. Rockford now pulling away, 41-13 over West Ottawa. That was a 24-13 game when we checked not too long ago. And third quarter, Muskegon leading Reith's Puffer 21-14. Reith's Puffer is 2-0. Giving the Big Reds a run, as we've now got a timeout for Grandville.
And was Muskegon 0-2?
No, Muskegon was 1-1.
1-1, okay.
I think they squeaked by East Kentwood, and then they got routed by Warren De La Salle. One thing I've noticed in the last maybe 5 to 10 years is teams really branching out and playing teams all over the state. You know, that's not just, the OK Red or West Michigan. Teams from all over the state are playing each other. And it's been kind of cool to see some different matchups. I know it's not ideal for, say, Hudsonville fans to have to travel to Saline and Orchard Lake St. Mary's, but it was fun to see a couple different stadiums, a couple different campuses, different parts of the state.
And I like the fact that then those two teams aren't going to rematch up in week 10 and week 11. They could have down the road a little bit, but certainly not in the regional or district rounds. Well,
I've always been pushing, especially lately, for a Hudsonville Unity Christian game, and I feel like that would be a great matchup. But I feel like these OK Conference schools, they don't want to intermingle in the Don League. It seems like 4th and 2. Here we go. Any little bit of indecision here. Grandville going with the long count.
Got it.
Was that the quarterback? That was the quarterback, Smith. Wow. I didn't see that one. I don't think the Hudsonville defense did initially, and now that's your ball game. Hudsonville is out of timeouts. And not sure on the math, but it's very close to Grandville being able to just take a knee. Hudsonville will start 0-3 for the first time since 1997. Hard to believe, my freshman year in high school.
Who was the coach back then, Russ?
Well, that was Dave Durham at the time, early in the Dave Durham era. Of course, 1998 is when things really turned around for Hudsonville, going to the state championship game. So who knows what the future holds, but the present is an 0-3 hole for the Eagles and a nice 3-0 start for Coach Stiegel. Last year the Bulldogs started 1-3, then got hot. This year they're starting the season on a great note. And even though Hudsonville's 0-3, they're a quality team. And that's what's so frustrating, I'm sure, for the Hudsonville side of things. But my point being, Grandville should feel good about this win. This was a solid offensive performance.
Yeah, with very few mistakes. Very efficient.
I'm sure Coach Stiegel doesn't love seeing 29 points on the board. That's 3 straight weeks now. They've given up 25 plus, 25, 27, and now 29. But as far as the offense goes, Grandville had the wing tee clicking on all cylinders tonight. And you can see from the celebration by the players as they're congratulating each other, the Bulldogs are, and now they'll exchange pleasantries with the Eagles. But Grandville is very fired up there to close out this game on the road. Eric Stiegel now 7-2 all time against Hudsonville. So this wing tee has been hard to solve going back to the Litgard era and now the Brent Sandy era. Grandville has really had Hudsonville's number in recent history.
They have, and anytime Hudsonville's done a nice job of stopping the running version of the wing tee, Grandville's made them pay with the pass, and tonight was really no exception.
Well, make sure you tune in The Zone live every Sunday night at 9:30. Ben Fritzman, John Van Laan, you guys will recap everything in football and the football weekend, high school, college, and pro. And I'm sure the OK Red will be a hot topic as the season continues to progress. So once again, here from Hudsonville in the OK Red opener, Grandville 3-0 now overall, 1-0 in league play. And based on some of the other scores from around the area, Caledonia will be going to 3-0, and Rockford will be going to 3-0 as well. West Ottawa taking their first loss tonight. They were down big at last check against Rockford. Once again, looking forward, Grandville hosting West Ottawa and hosting Caledonia in the next 2 weeks. Hudsonville will be at Caledonia and at West Ottawa. So both teams have the same opponents in the next 2 weeks, vice versa. Once again, the final score tonight from Hudsonville, the Grandville Bulldogs. Offense clicking on all cylinders. It was Grandville 40 and Hudsonville 29. For Brian Waring, Ben Fritzma, and John Van Laan, I'm Russell Chesky. Good night. We'll see you down the road.